All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Red Flag Review. It is episode 3, and tonight we have another pair of amazing creators. We're bringing the female power into this one. We have Hoofy712, who actually has been a longtime mod of my channel and a content creator herself, as well as LittleStryker. I'm very excited to get into these Reddit stories, and also very excited to get to talk to them and to let them tell y'all their story and what kind of content they create, and hopefully maybe create some new viewers from y'all. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring them in for you. We have Hoofy, we have LittleStryker. Ladies, how are we doing?
Hello, I'm doing great.
Stryker?
I'm muted.
All right, we're starting off great. Here we go.
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah, it's fine. We're doing it.
We're getting through.
All right, so Allison, I'm going to start with you. So please tell the audience about you, your content, kind of your story. You can tell them crappy things about me. No, I'm kidding. Please don't do that. But no, seriously, like just let the audience know who you are for those of them that don't know who you are. Let me pull you full screen. Here you go. You have the floor.
Wow, hello. This is a lot of pressure, but my name is Hoofy712. I'm a content creator and streamer. I've known Echoes for many, many years. Watched him before I was a streamer. There may be inside jokes, or I may poke fun of him a little bit, but he's one of my brothers at this point, and I love him so much. But also, and let's see, what kind of content do? I paint, I sing, I play a lot of cozy games. We just hang out and chat every once in a while. So I always aim to create a cozy, nice space for y'all to relax. And I'm also streaming over on all the platforms. I've been playing a lot of story games like The Last of Us. I just finished part 1. I'm anxiously waiting to play part 2. And I'm excited to see what else I play. Hopefully The Witcher and all that stuff. So yeah, I think I'm done.
I love it.
It was too much pressure. Full screen. Okay, good. I feel better.
You did great.
All right.
All right, Stryker, it is your turn. Same question to you. Tell the audience about you, your story, what kind of content you create. Okay. You have the floor.
Yeah, LittleStryker. I'm a mama 4 gamer, art streamer. Yeah, I've been on Kick for 2 years now? Yeah, 2 years, and I started on Twitch. Yeah, just mainly paint my art, and I do like acrylic on canvas. Sometimes I have just chatting streams too, just to hang out and chill with the chat. But yeah, that's about it. Nothing really else to add to that.
Okay.
Other than she's gorgeous and amazing and wonderful and a beautiful, talented artist.
Oh, thank you, Hoofy.
You're welcome.
Oh my God, I love you.
I love you.
You're such a sweetheart.
This is beautiful, chat. I'm telling you right now, this is beautiful what's happening here.
Yeah.
And
right.
Hoofy's my wife.
Yeah, basically.
See, there we go, chat. The truth comes out.
Yep.
All right. For those of y'all that have watched this podcast before, y'all know what's about to happen. I have 5 Reddit stories lined up, ready to go. As always, we're going to start off with a tame story, kind of just ease in, loosen everybody up, get a good conversation going. And by the last story, we're probably going to be wondering what in the world is going on and why this exists. Oh, without further ado, these stories are going to pop up on the screen, at least the titles are, so you guys can kind of follow along to what story we're reading. And without further ado, let's get into the stories. Reddit story number 1 reads, am I the asshole for enforcing basic boundaries on my daughter's sleepover? I, 42 male, have 2 kids living with me. My daughter, Anya, 17 female, and my stepson, Noah, 14 male. Noah's mom passed a few years ago, and I've had full custody since. He's had a rough go of it, but he's a good kid with his quirks. He's not antisocial or shy, but he does not appreciate having his space invaded, and when very upset, he can kind of shut down. Anya is much more outgoing and has a lot of friends. She asked to have a sleepover this weekend with 4 of them. I said yes, of course, but given that the friends who were coming were pretty loud and have a tendency to crowd Noah, I told her to make sure they don't go into her brother's room. Also to keep things down after 11 so that the house can sleep. In my opinion, these are not strict rules, which they're not. To my surprise, I came upstairs to check on them at about 10. They are 17. I didn't think I needed to check on them every hour or something. And they were in Noah's room. And they looked like they had been there a while. 2 were literally sitting on his bed with him there. One of them was flipping through his sketchbook. Another was messing with his other stuff. And they were all kind of giggling in this weird way. Noah was clearly upset. He didn't say anything or move, but there were tears in his eyes, and he didn't respond when I tried to talk to him. I told the girls to get out right then and said I was calling every single one of their parents. Anya was pretty upset with me, but I told her that I gave them 2 rules and they failed spectacularly. I did actually call all of their parents and sent them home as soon as possible. Anya blew up on me, saying that I embarrassed her. I told her to go to her room and that we would speak on this in the morning. I spent about 20 minutes with Noah before he decided he wanted to cool down on his own. And I went back to my daughter, who chose not to speak to me. It's late. Both of my kids are hopefully asleep. And I'm left not knowing if I handled things right. Am I the asshole?
Definitely not.
No. No, I think I would have tried to pull aside the son to kind of check in with him one-on-one as see how he was feeling, because maybe, I mean, who knows his relationship with her friends. No, I think you set boundaries, you got to enforce them.
Yeah, I think the ground rules were set right away. You know, he allowed the daughter to have a sleepover, but said, hey, there are 2 specific rules that I want you to follow. And as he said in the post, like, they were not strict rules by any means. But of course, they decided to not follow those rules. So unfortunately, I can't necessarily feel bad for any of them when they're being sent home. And I can't feel bad for the daughter because, you know, being a dad myself, it's one of those things, like, if I tell you not to do something and you still do it anyways, like, there's going to be consequences. Like, that's just, it's parenting 101. And so I can understand why the daughter's frustrated, but, like, she has to understand, like, the ground rules were there, the boundaries were set. She knows how he is, at least I think. So why would you surround him with a bunch of your friends when he clearly wasn't comfortable around them, right? And they're touching his stuff and they're, you know, sitting on his bed, and clearly they're overwhelming him.
Invasion of privacy, yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I do wish in this situation was I do wish the dad would have checked in sooner rather. And I totally get giving the daughter trust, being like, hey, they're all like in the realm of like 16, 17. Like, I don't have to watch them like a hawk. You know, I gave them the ground rules. They should be fine. I do wish the dad would have been like, you know, let me go check on him real quick. And it would have been sooner. But outside of that, yeah, this is one of those things where I can't feel bad for the daughter here, even for as upset as she is and how she feels. And I completely understand her feelings. But when you're told to do something and you don't do it, it's kind of it.
Yeah. And the fact that she said he embarrassed her is like, you embarrassed your brother, you embarrassed your father, like you crossed all the lines there. Yeah.
So let's get into some of the comments here. Top comment says, you handle things perfectly okay. You set very reasonable rules, and your daughter decided not to care and upset Noah. I would ground her. She doesn't care to have embarrass Noah, but she sure cares that she couldn't get her way. What was she expecting after she broke the rules? And someone else below that said, and the precedent to be set there is if there were no consequences, not only for breaking the rules, but for continuing to violate someone's boundaries while they are visibly uncomfortable. She will encounter all sorts of people with different issues / trauma, and she needs to recognize when she's crossing a line. And it's like, her brother's not going to be the only person that she encounters that is going to, you know, have these boundaries in place and, you know, be uncomfortable in certain situations. And I think the big lesson for her to learn here is, like, everybody sets their own boundaries, and you have to learn in a way to just not cross that line, and learn when you need to say, hey, it's not necessarily about me in this situation. Like, how does this other person feel? And maybe I should ask them if they feel uncomfortable. Maybe I should ask them, hey, how do you feel? What are your boundaries here? But I think that's really just a maturity thing at the end of the day, that I think even people in their 20s and 30s still don't fully comprehend what boundaries really are. So
Yeah, exactly. And I think you would hope that, someone who was a bit older, 17, 16, would maybe start to realize that and kind of start to think about how to handle that and starting to pick up on some of those cues that hopefully the brother is giving off. I mean, I think the dad said that, he looked upset or he looked scared or uncomfortable or whatever it is. You would hope
yeah, he
that.
said he had tears in his eyes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
someone
and
that's
and
younger may not know how to speak that and be like, hey, I am uncomfortable. I don't like this.
yeah, I think it's tough for Noah in that situation because I think he was just frozen. He just didn't know what to do. I don't think he knew how to project how he was feeling because maybe that's something hard for him to do. That's something that a lot of people can struggle with is they don't know how to express their feelings or like project how they're feeling in the moment. So I can't imagine how tough it was for him just to like there and just watch these girls just run wild in his room. And just, because at the end of the day, think about it. If you have I had I have a brother and like growing up, like we had our own separate rooms. I wouldn't just walk in on his room and start touching his stuff or vice versa. There's just like I think there's a common sense boundary there, especially for siblings where it's like, hey, listen, your own rooms or they should be your safe spaces. Like you should be able to go in your room and feel like you're okay. And like nothing bad's going to happen. Not have your sister with all of her friends barging in your room and just running buck wild.
Yeah. And especially with like little other rules set, like you could go anywhere in the house or do anything else, literally.
Go outside and touch grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Read
I
the
don't know.
social-
You may get allergies from just doing that.
Social
Hey,
cues.
don't call, okay? Gosh.
Just read
All
the
right.
social cues too. I mean, her brother
Yeah.
was upset.
Yeah.
100%.
Because if the dad could see that he's upset, she should know too.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at him and he has tears in his eyes, you should that right there should say, hey, I don't think this is right, and I don't think this is good for him. Like, I think we should leave and like maybe go to my room. You know what I mean? Like, so as I said, we start off pretty tame. I think that's something we see a lot with siblings. And again, I think the big lesson learned is like respect people's boundaries. When they tell you to not do something, if they give you a rule, if they say, hey, I don't like this makes me uncomfortable, like please listen to that, because that is such a big problem that people love to try to cross the boundary all the time.
Exactly.
All right. Now, this is where we start to crank up the knob a little bit. So now we're all comfortable. Now we've kind of gotten into the conversation. So
are we all comfortable?
I hope so. I hope so,
Okay.
because it's about to get a little
Listen, I'm
uncomfortable.
just new here. Okay, let's go.
All right. Here we go into story number 2. Am I the asshole for leaving my best friend's birthday party early because I was just a B-list guest?
What's a B-list guest?
You're about to find out. I read this, so I vet these stories before I'll use them, and this one was so weird because I'm just gonna read it and you'll understand. So here we go. So this is a throwaway for privacy, though this is a pretty specific incident, and anyone who knows the situation will probably be able to identify me anyways. I, 29 female, have been good friends with, we're gonna call her Sally, 30 female, since we were 8 years old. We were inseparable throughout school, but we went to different colleges. I visited her a few times each year. She'd visit me, and we'd always meet up at Christmas and summer breaks. After we graduated, I moved about a 3-hour drive from where she moved to. We still caught up often. As normally happens, we established our new professional and social lives, drifted apart, but whenever we caught up, it was like no time had passed. We were there for each other whenever we needed it. When she got married at 25, I was a bridesmaid. I declined maid of honor because I was concerned with the long commute. I couldn't do all the maid of honor duties required/expected. She drove to my place to support me when my father had a stroke. I stayed with her when she found out her ex-husband cheated and she filed for divorce. I always figured that even though life is taking us in different directions, we'd always be there for each other. Now, to her birthday. She turned 30 last week and had a huge party this past weekend. Since it was a milestone birthday, she had it at a banquet hall, all catered, DJ, etc. It was at night, so I booked a hotel, drove up, and would drive back home the next day. When I arrived, I was ushered into a small room with 4 tables and about 10 other people. There was a portable TV on a trolley with a stream of the party in the bigger room. One of the guests told me Sally invited more than the main hall could accommodate, and she hoped after a few people RSVP'd no, we'd all fit in. But only 1 or 2 people RSVP'd no, so the venue opened a second room for the excess guests. I saw on the stream new people arriving after I did, so I knew I was clearly relegated to the B-lister room and wasn't brought there because the main room was already filled up. So I left after about 15 minutes, and then took my gift with me. The next day, as I was preparing to check out of the hotel, Sally called and asked why I didn't show. Apparently, she came to the leftovers room to mingle about 30 minutes after I left and noticed I wasn't there. I told her I did attend, but I didn't realize I'd be watching a stream of her party instead of attending it, which I could have done from home. She asked if I wanted to catch up for lunch and I can give her my gift then, but I told her I needed to get back home because I had plans for the afternoon. Cue the Instagram story about how people claim to love her, don't show up, and she can't help that so many people wanted to celebrate her. During my drive home, her mother left a voicemail that she was very disappointed in me. But I'm here like, I'm supposed to be one of your best friends and I got the leftover experience. Did I overreact? Am I the asshole here?
What?
I'm just floored why she came to her and was like, we can meet for lunch and you can give me my gift then. What the is that? Oh my God. Okay.
I'm curious about what's with a portable TV with a stream of the main room? That blows my mind.
That's terrible.
And also, I'm just going to put this out there. Okay. If you're going to book a party, you need to book it at a venue that can accommodate. Since you clearly had so many people that wanted to come, you need to book a venue that can fit these people. It's like anything. It's like a wedding. It's like, it's like the big party that she did. It's like anything. When you book a venue like that, you need to make sure because you always have to prepare that there's going to be more people than you expect. Because there's always going to be those people that last minute, you send them invites and then you don't hear from them. But then the week of, you start inviting more people because you're like, oh, well, these people haven't answered me and yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to start inviting more people. And then all of a sudden the people that didn't respond are like, oh, yeah, I'm going to show up too. And then you have extra people. But you always have to be prepared for that. So to book a venue that has clearly a cap limit and then say, hey, these extra 10 people, we're just going to put you in a room. We're going to give you a TV. You're going to get to see all the fun happen, but y'all just get to mingle by yourself.
It's your consolation prize.
Yeah, here's your second place trophy.
Were the rooms next to each other? Could they have opened them up, or could they switch back and forth, jumped room to room, or
from what I'm understanding, this room was separate from the main place. These 10 people were ushered to a whole different, I don't know if it was a whole different side or whatever it was. I mean, it was clearly close enough because the girl whose party it was able to go into the room and mingle with the other people.
It's like those.
That's still weird because why would you go into that room and show your face and just be like, hey guys, thank you so much, the 10 of you, the extras that are in here, thank you guys so much for coming to my party. And I know you're missing out on the main event, but listen, this is the best I could do for you. I'm sorry, I'm not showing face in that situation.
Yeah.
And the OP even said they booked a hotel to come, and you have a list. This girl who's having Sally, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Sally had a list of 10 people that are going to be in that room. So why didn't you, this was a forethought plan, be like, okay, I invited extra people. They don't have room. I'm going to make a list of 10 names. Those people will be ushered to this extra room. So why didn't she reach out and be like, hey, I accidentally over-invited for this party. Would it be possible if you came 1 hour later or something?
Listen, I'm going to
I don't know. Or be like, hey, here's the situation.
I'm going to take this
from a different angle, and this is going to take this problem out completely. If she's your best friend, as it's said in here, they've been best friends since they were 8 years old, why in the world is she not at the top of your list? Why is she not one of the first people in there in the first place? Why is she being put in a situation where she's relegated into this B list room? Already tells me that, hey, clearly there's something wrong with your friendship. And you need to have a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think I definitely have those friendships where we've been friends for a really long time since like elementary school. You know, we even live this one friend in particular I'm thinking about, we live in the same town, but like we see each other maybe every 3 months. You know, life just gets busy with kids and everything else that we got going on. But every time we meet up, it's like we just pick up where we left off and everything is fine. You know, I think friendships like that are completely normal. But to like have them on the B list, yeah, I don't understand that. And then to have like your mom call them on the next day and be like, "Hey, they were, you know, she was really sad that you left early and didn't even get to say hi."
By
Well,
the
it's
way,
like, duh.
can you meet for lunch and give me your gift that you were going to give me?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Is that why
And-
you invited her?
And then, of course, cueing the Instagram story too. You know, like the typical having to go to social media to, you know, shadow diss and, you know, not mention names, but, you know, basically, you know, diss you. Like the crazy thing is, in the first episode, we had a story like this where, you know, I was saying that social media is so toxic in that way because a lot of people just tend to go to social media to just vent their feelings, and like they'll do it in like such a weird way where like instead of communicating like, hey, there's clearly an issue here, let's talk about it. No, actually, on second thought, I'm going to go to Instagram and I'm going to put an Instagram story up that's going to basically diss you, but like I don't want to talk to you about it.
Coward.
Yeah.
Coward.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this Sally is not good at communication, is not good about throwing parties. It's just not being a good friend at all.
No.
I'd be
Not at
doing
all.
everything I could if I invited too many people to try to have them all together. Like, I get that that's a mistake, but I don't know. To throw them in a separate room here, watch us have fun on this little TV is
But here's another thing too. If you knew booking the venue that you were going to have a cap, why did you invite that many people? That's another thing too. Listen, I get it, because when this past year, when we did a fundraiser show in Dallas, like we had a cap to the people that we could have in the venue because it was one of those kinds of venues. There are venues that exist, and they're this is a thing. And it's not because of the venue, it's because of the fire marshal. It's because if there's too many people in one room and something happens, like, you know, there's a fire or whatnot, it's not safe to get out. That's always the thing. But my thing is, if you're booking the venue and you know, hey, this venue has a, let's just say 80-person cap. Like you can have 80 people in the room at one time. I don't know about y'all, but I'm only inviting like 65 because I want to give myself a little bit of a ceiling to where if more people down the line say they can come, but then also like some people that I invite say like they can't come, then at least I have that wiggle room to say, okay, I'm not going to hit this cap and everybody can be in the same room. So Sally knew what this cap was and decided that if I can fit 75 people in this room, I'm going to fit 75 people in this room. And if there's extras, well, guess what? Y'all get to go to catering. Like what?
yeah.
That's the insane thing to me.
I'd much rather get an invitation like 2 weeks before an event and like know that like this is probably the second round of invitations that are going out than to be stuck in a little room watching a TV of everyone else having fun.
Yeah. Because at that point, why are you there?
Yeah, for the gift. Obviously.
I mean,
They're throwing
that,
their own little mini rave in the room. They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was quite clear that that's what she wanted.
man. So the top comment here says, we planned our wedding in our backyard. I made a graph paper map of a yard to scale with cutout scale tables that had tabs for how far the chair was pulled out. I did the math after rearranging my little models every kind of way and had to reduce my guest list as 75 people max could fit in my yard. I wanted my guests to enjoy celebrating with us, not just give us gifts. We wanted their presents. Any presents were just a nice bonus. OP, your former friend has turned pretty.
Yep, exactly.
It's like buying a ticket to a concert and just you're watching the concert from a screen in the back room or something. No.
Somebody replied to that comment, and this actually makes me laugh out loud. says, you had me at graph paper. I think I love you. Listen, if somebody's pulling out graph paper for map of your wedding, that's pretty intricate.
Yep.
And somebody else commented, which, I mean, this is the common theme. It says, not the asshole. You don't overbook a party. You book a venue that can accommodate everyone. What the frick? Like, you need to pay attention to that. Like, if the venue has a cap, book a bigger venue. Give yourself more room to be able to, like, if you want all the people there, like, book a bigger venue. I don't really know what else to tell you.
Yeah. Or else you're just gonna have to make sacrifices and choose the closest people to be there.
Exactly. At that point, and it's like a wedding nonetheless. I mean, when my wife and I just got married a few months back, and one of the toughest things for me, and I think for us in general, was like, who are we putting on the guest list? And I ended up doing like a bunch of research, and like one of the smartest things I found was you make an A list and a B list. A list are the people that you do life with and you want there, like, and you know that they want to be there, and you invite those people. And that list is probably not that big. You invite those people, and then once those people respond yes or no, then you say, okay, I have room. Okay, now let me go to the B list. These are people I want there, but like I don't want to make it too crowded, kind of thing. Yeah. And so I think in any situation, you have to make a list of everybody you invite to make sure you're not going to go over the cap. Like, do it. Like do the extra work to do that, because I truly don't think someone like this is worth it to lose a friendship. But I think Sally put herself in that situation where she just lost a friend because she couldn't stay organized.
Yeah, and that's like a good long-term friend.
Yeah, I mean, they've been friends since they were 8 years old.
Sad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's wild.
You think you know people, and then they start planning their birthday party, and then you get left in a room with a TV.
Yeah. And you paid to drive or fly there, and paid for a hotel, and paid for the present, and
it's almost like, hey, we don't have room for you. Here's a white padded room. Have fun. I'll give you a bouncy ball. You can bounce it off the walls.
That actually sounds real fun, actually.
They give you one of those like giant like bubbles. Have you ever seen like people play like bubble soccer or stuff like that? You give you one of those big bubbles, and you just get in and start bouncing yourself.
Yes.
This is better than the party.
Yeah.
Right?
Man.
Because we're a magician.
Yeah, at least put some good entertainment in there.
Yeah. Yeah, at least hire me to just play music in the room. It'll be better than being at the party, okay?
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
I like the magician idea.
You want to see this rabbit disappear?
Did it disappear? Just went to the other room.
Right?
A card, any card. The rabbit got tired of it. He's in the main
main room.
This room is boring. All right.
Boy.
Jeez. Okay, so story number 3. Are y'all ready?
Do it.
Let's go.
Like I said, the dial is going to start getting cranked even more. So that was, yeah.
People are wild. I just want to say that.
Listen, when you go down the rabbit hole of Reddit, you find out that people are just insane. I was saying it, I can't remember if it was the first or the second episode, but I was just like, it's crazy to think like some of these things you just in a way like almost dream about. You're like, oh, this could never happen in real life. And then you read Reddit and you're just like, how? What? Crazy. All right, here we go. Story number 3. Okay. This one's gonna be great. My boyfriend just got married. Not to me. Am I an idiot for staying in the relationship?
Huh?
Wait, that was an option to stay in the relationship after the boyfriend got married? What the? Where's the rest of it?
25 female, 25 male. Been together for 8 months. My boyfriend is in the military and absolutely hates his job, and especially having to live on base with 18-year-old idiots in a place where his boss can come find him at any hour of the day or night and tell him to do something. Having had my fair share of bad living situations, I can completely understand how that one facet of your life can make such a big difference, and I know how much he wants out. The problem is he isn't a high enough rank to live off base unless he's married. He has brought up the idea a few times before, and I always told him it upset me to think of him marrying someone else, even just on paper. Last week, he started pursuing it more intently with a coworker of mine who was Canadian and hoping to gain citizenship. We had a long talk, and I told him all of my concerns, and he told me he was thinking about it as solely a business deal and that it wouldn't change anything between us. I told him I really didn't want him to do it. The next day, he picks me up at work and tells me he's meeting the girl to go get married that evening. I flip. He drops me off and it takes me a 3-hour walk to talk myself into staying into the relationship. But he showed little to no remorse about it when we talked about it later. Just gave a trite apology when I asked for one and hasn't been doing anything to try to make it up to me or make me feel loved and respected. I am absolutely in love with him and I want to be with him. I feel like we mesh so well and we're perfect for each other. He assured me that he loves me and doesn't want our relationship to be temporary. He won't be living with her. He'll get his own apartment and she'll just have her name on the lease. And that'll be her official residence. They'll have a joint checking account just for paying rent and bills. Parentheses, honestly, I see this working out very badly and I'm pretty sure they're not going to get away with it. All of his coworkers and bosses know me or about me, so him suddenly being married to someone else is going to be a giant red flag. Not to mention, they're trying to screw with immigration laws, which is just such a ridiculously stupid idea, since any casual look into either of them will make it obvious that they're not in a relationship, haven't had any communication with each other before about a week ago, and are doing this as a scam, but there's no reasoning with him about it. Am I being stupid for staying in this relationship just because I'm in love? Or is that enough to make it worth staying and try to work things out?
No, she's stupid. She's dumb. Run, bitch, run! Run, bitch, run!
What?
Oh my God. That's
to be like, hey, I'm just going to go marry this girl because it makes sense. And my problem solved and her problem solved. But I'm just going to leave you out in the dust and not take in your opinions or your consideration. Yeah. Run for the hills.
I just have a question. Just elephant in the room here. Because there was no mention of this. So this is kind of why I'm curious. Why was there no conversation of you getting married to her, like your own girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, am I missing something here? Because normally, from what I know from experience, I know a good bit of military people, and I know that a lot of the times, especially when they're getting deployed or something like that, like they'll usually end up getting married. Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
So
they marry their
why
partners? Yeah.
Why was there no conversation about like y'all marrying each other, but instead he's gonna marry this other girl because she's looking for citizenship? Which, by the way, the amount of times that I've heard of this, like people doing this, and I'm just like, it is the dumbest thing. Like, if you don't actually like the person, why are you marrying them?
That's illegal.
And also illegal. Yes, that part.
Yeah, extremely.
FBI, open up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
God, that's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's wild.
And he's just like, he just told her about it, and she literally said to him straight up, I do not like this. The next day, hey, by the way, we're gonna go get married tonight. Sorry, just have a good day. Like,
that's a biggest red flag ever. She should leave. She needs to leave. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I do not want a partner that just doesn't take in my considerations or thoughts and feelings and is just going to do what they want to do. No, a relationship is two people having a say and taking into consideration each other's emotions and feelings and everything else.
Yep. And marriage is a huge thing. Like,
you
can't play around with that stuff. Like, it's a huge thing.
It's a commitment at the end of the day. So there's an edit to this where she kind of explains a little bit more. She says, thanks, internet strangers. I think I knew as soon as it happened that the relationship was doomed. Honestly, on Thursday when we talked about it, and he was so completely resistant, I knew, but he tried to make me believe that I was the only one being selfish and unreasonable and overly emotional. And because I love him, I tried to believe him. I tried to convince myself that I could excuse this, that it wasn't a big deal, and it wasn't worth breaking up over. I needed strangers to tell me that I'm not the insane one, that it's insane to think about being with a person who would do something like this. So thank you for the validation. You know what my biggest pet peeve is? Like, I hate and I don't like saying hate a lot because hate's a strong word. I hate when, and guys and girls collectively do this. It's not just a guy thing, but it's more guys than girls that do this. But when a guy goes to the excuse of you're being overly emotional, you're overreacting, like that is such a pet peeve. Like that is not something you can just go to. Like that's the childish way to do it.
Very
Like actually
belittling.
have a conversation. Like let her explain her feelings, because in this situation, her feelings are very valid. So for you to just dismiss it and say, well, you're just being emotional, you're overreacting, like you're reading too much into this, like this is not that big of a deal. Yes, it's a big deal. You're literally marrying somebody else that's not your girlfriend, and it's just perfectly okay with you.
There's been plenty of times when I've overreacted and gotten over emotional at the smallest things, or even things that are not true. My husband could be like nice and fine, but in my dreams, he cheated on me. So yeah, I'm gonna like be upset and cry and overreact and be like, why did you do that? But
You just wake up the next day, you cheated on me. What?
yeah. What? Huh?
Huh? Since when?
But
In my
he
dream,
better-
that doesn't count.
Yeah, but he better still acknowledge my feelings and listen to me and make me feel better again.
No, and that's completely valid. At the end of the day, it's about communication. Like even stuff like
Yeah.
that, like, you know, like, because in the same retrospect, like if your husband was like feeling a certain kind of way about something, like you would sit down and you would listen to his feelings just the same as you would want him to listen to your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
That's all a part of marriage. That's all a part, and it's not even just marriage. It's all a part of relationships in general. So, but let's get into the comments. And the top comment is wonderful. It says, "Are you kidding? Yes, you are an idiot for staying in this relationship. For the record, what your boyfriend is doing is incredibly illegal. I believe the penalties for doing this are much harsher for enlisting than for civilian when he gets caught."
Yeah.
That is wow.
I'm not tying myself to a person that does.
I know there's people in the military that do this too, which is just like, it's like I know of friends that have married guys in the military that it ends up not working out because they just end up like they just end up coming home and cheating on them, because like there's like, oh, the marriage was just so I can get like, you know, a discount on housing, or I don't know how all that stuff works, but like I know there's perks to it, and so
Bump in salary.
yeah. So there's people that do that for all the wrong reasons, and of course it ends up with people being hurt for absolutely no reason. So man, oh man,
Jeez. Yeah. I mean, he can do whatever he wants, but hopefully she's not with him anymore.
let's hope.
Yep.
And I mean, judging off the edit, it seems like she was like, "Nah, I'm not doing this." So
Yeah,
hopefully,
good.
I mean, there was no other update outside of that. So I'm hoping that meant, hey, you know, thank you guys for the validation. I'm getting out of here. Like I'm not doing this, which is the smart decision. You don't want to be with someone like that. All right, let's now these last two stories. I'm gonna let y'all know, for those of you watching and for my guests here. These are family drama, but this is not just going to be your typical like little minuscule family drama. These are going to be two very intense stories of family drama. So I hope y'all are ready. Here we go. Story number 4. Sister-in-laws expressed, "I don't deserve our new house. Now my husband's family is melting down." And I will let you know that this story does have an update.
I love
So-
updates.
Okay.
Let's read the original story. Here we go. "My husband, 38 male, and I, 33 female, just bought our first house. My husband has a pretty high paying job. I work and make a decent salary, but our budget to buy our house was definitely influenced more by his earnings. We had his family over last weekend. Generally, I loved his parents. They've always been really good to me, and they're fun. I have not spent as much time with his sister outside of holiday gatherings, but we do have her son, husband's nephew, stay with us for a week over the summer the last few years, so I know him well too and love him. So everyone mentioned above comes over and we show them around the house. At one point, I'm showing the sister-in-law a kitchenette in the basement, and I say something like, 'It's great that our house has this space now, so if you want to visit us, you'll have basically a separate apartment. And she goes, our? Is it also your house? I'm immediately confused, but also I guess she could have assumed my husband bought it on his own. I said, yeah, we bought it together. And she goes, do you think you deserve to own half of this house? I don't know. I just think that's crazy. I was shocked and mostly panicked. Said, well, I do, yeah, and fled the basement. I immediately told my husband away from his family, and he in turn immediately went to go talk to his sister. I went to hang out with his parents and didn't say anything to them, but then we heard shouting outside. My husband and his sister were yelling at each other. I know people are different with their siblings, but I've never really heard him yell before. I could hear him tell that we don't have a prenup, and she called him an idiot. I had to tell his parents what was going on. They went and intervened and left pretty quickly with his sister and nephew, who didn't hear any of this through the magic of video games, I think. His mom said sorry to me on the way out. I did touch base with my husband, and he was livid, like way more angry than I expected. He told me that before we got married, his sister was the beneficiary of his life insurance, and he thought she was angry over essentially being removed from all his assets. But we've been married 3 years. She apparently had texted him about being added onto the house paperwork a few weeks ago during the buying process, and he just ignored her. His parents have reached out to me and have been very sweet / apologetic, but they really want to fix things and asked if I'll talk to the sister-in-law. I've been trying to step away from it and just say it's now between my husband and his sister. Is that fair? Of course, I'm a bit hurt by her saying that, but at the end of the day, if she has problems with how he's handling his assets, that's between the two of them, right? I just feel really bad because his family has always been so sweet, and I really love his nephew, so I also want things to be fixed. Edit. I will make an update. We have plans to chat about it today and speak with his parents and figure out how we want to move forward. I agree with essentially all of you, and I'm not planning to discuss it with her until she apologizes. And to answer some common questions, nephew's dad is not and has not been in the picture for a long time. Sister-in-law has been in and out of relationships with not the best types of dudes. She's younger and there's no other siblings. Yes, there's been a pattern of her getting more help from her parents, but it's because she really needs it with being a single mom, and my husband has always been pretty independent. I promise I don't tell every person on the street about our lack of a prenup. My husband did come into the marriage with a lot of assets, so I think when his friends and family expressed curiosity about a prenup, it was coming from a place of concern / care for him, and I love that. So it felt appropriate to share how we made that decision. No one ever pushed back. I never talked to his sister about it, and I think she didn't know. But my husband sort of yelled it at her in an anger in a we don't even have a prenup way. We are planning on kids, but still could keep up with what we currently do for nephew, even if we did. And he just became an official teenager, so the college fund is close to complete at this stage. At this stage, we don't add much money to it anymore. It's just securing.
Where's that red flag, Hoofy? Fucking wave that thing. Well, good thing he did talk to his sister and was able to like step in and discuss that. That's huge. Because if he did it, then I'd be like, run, girl. Just get the hell out of that.
You hubby.
W. I don't know. They're in their 30s. They're married. They've been married for
3 years.
What, 3 years? It doesn't matter which
And they
side
have kids, right?
is bringing in more money.
Did they have kids? Did I miss that?
No,
Not yet.
they have a nephew. The husband has
The
a
nephew.
nephew. Yeah. What's crazy to me is you go into their house and say that she doesn't deserve the house, which is a crazy concept to me, because why are you so concerned with what she deserves and what she doesn't? Like, it wouldn't matter if the husband bought it outright on his own or if they bought it together. Like, that part does not matter, because at the end of the day, they are in a marriage. And at the end of the day, that means they are a team. So however that situation played out, like, that is their house and they both live in it. And it is literally both of theirs. So there's no, he deserves it more than you do. You don't deserve, like, that. To me, it sounds like there's an underlying thing here. It sounds like the sister-in-law has either some sort of animosity, some sort of jealousy.
Jealous.
Yeah.
There's something underlying here, because I don't think any person in a right mind would just look at someone and say, you don't deserve this house. That would be like, in our world, in the content creation world, that would be like, somebody coming into, I'm just going to use Allison as an example, somebody coming into Allison's stream and dropping 100 subs and like, it's amazing. And then someone else comes in and says, you don't deserve that. That's weird.
Yeah.
Like, of course she deserves it. Like, why, like, give me a reason she doesn't deserve it. Because guess what? You're not going to give me a good reason, because there's not a good reason why she doesn't.
Thank you.
It was just a hypothetical. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you guys drop 100 subs to
I say that to say that I think a lot of these situations, again, I think come from either a place of animosity or a place of jealousy. And that is such an ugly thing, because I think every person goes through their own journey of life, and they go through their own like highs and lows, and problems and solutions, and making money here and not making money there. And there's so much that people go through, that just because someone gets something nice, that doesn't mean they don't deserve it. And for you to step in and say, especially because that's your family, right? Like granted, it's not blood family, but it's still your family. For you to sit there and look at your family and say you don't deserve that, just something that like they're super proud of. Like, we're not talking about we're not talking about like a new game system. We're not talking about a new vacuum cleaner. We're talking about a house. That is like the biggest purchase you can make in your lifetime. And like, they've been married for 3 years. Like, this is something that they've clearly been working towards, and this is something they've wanted, and they were able to do it. So then all of a sudden you come in and basically be the party pooper and say, he deserves it, but you don't.
It's clear that she doesn't like the sister-in-law. It's clear about that. And she's going to be a problem in their marriage.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if it's necessarily she doesn't like her. Again, I think there's something underlying that was not said in the original story. So
that could be. What
I want to do here is that I want to read the top comments from the original story, and then I want to read the update for you, because the update's very interesting. So
I have one more comment before you do that.
Go
if
for
that's
it.
Okay. I think the concern about the prenup at the time they were getting married or engaged was good concern, especially if like the sister was just looking out for his safety and his assets and everything. But to like question it at the point of 3 years of marriage and then also the house, it just makes it seem like this is all a jealousy of money, or who gets what when they pass away. And it's just like, why do we even have to go down that road? I don't know. That's very much a red flag right there. And even the wife, the original poster, was just like, listen, if like he wanted to do a prenup, then fine, like I'm all good with that. I just want to like marry this man. But yeah, the decision is those two and should stay that way. I get having concerns for his safety, but at the end of the day, it's his decision.
So the top comment here says, what could you possibly say to your sister-in-law? I think you say that the issue isn't really about you. It's about how sister-in-law thinks everything that is your husband's is part hers. That's something your husband needs to set straight, not you. You just sit there and stay pleasant. You handle this perfectly. It's not your battle, and your husband has your back, clearly. Sister-in-law sounds insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So, as I said at the start of the story, we have an update. Okay. Update. Holy crap, y'all. I was not expecting that much feedback, but I'm super grateful. It was really affirming and validating to read a lot of those comments, and a bit humbling too. This recent move did move us a little bit out of town, so I'm still close to my social circle, but didn't immediately have someone to vent to, and you all were really helpful in that way. To update, she was secretly planning his murder to get the life insurance money.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
No,
my God.
No, not really.
My God, I was about to spit out my drink.
After talking a bunch with both my husband and his parents, we figured out a few things. He
April
didn't
Fools.
tell her that he's replaced her as the beneficiary on everything because he assumed that she would know that. So she had texted him during the home purchase, "Hey, do you need my signature on anything for this new house?" He had messaged her back, "No?" ? She then essentially asked if the house was an asset, set up like his life insurance. And he told her that everything is set up fine and that I'm on all the paperwork. And she responded, "Okay," smiley face. So I do think part of this is her truly not knowing how marriage is supposed to work. And she seems to have expected there wouldn't be any change. I found out she has also mentioned this with her parents. Her main concern being that if something happened to my husband, I wouldn't help her son like we've been doing as a couple. Mother-in-law and father-in-law said that they told her not to worry and that I love our nephew, but that was what was going on behind the scenes before all of this. Father-in-law and mother-in-law also admitted that they may have unintentionally encouraged this because they've always really encouraged their kids to support each other. But due to the various dynamics at play, what that ends up being is pressure on my husband and a sort of, your brother will always be there for you message to his sister. This was particularly strong in the last few years because I met and married him because his parents thought he was planning to be a lifelong bachelor. They're not wrong in this. He definitely had that mindset at the time. And so he and his sister were really, in their eyes, each other's lifelong person. So the last few years had been this level of fallout I wasn't even aware of due to that. I also learned sister-in-law is in a not great financial situation. And due to the past issues, the whole family essentially refuses to give her cash, but will do things like buy groceries or pay a phone bill. So she's been struggling and I think feeling a little desperate and jealous. Of course, none of this is an excuse, and I'm not speaking to her until I get an apology. My husband also says that he needs at least a week or two before he speaks to her, but he does plan to. His parents are totally in agreement and understand. They are going to tell her that we talked about the dynamics at play and that she needs to acknowledge what is going on here and take accountability for her part in it. So hopefully that will kickstart things in the right direction. Being too understanding and too flexible has been a difficult thing for me for a long time. Having feedback about how truly messed up that situation was really helpful for me, so thank you. For me, there's a fine line between being unbothered and being a doormat, and I'm definitely working on differentiating those two. Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Man.
Don't worry, chat. She wasn't trying to kill him for the insurance money, okay? I love that she threw that in there.
What a sense.
Man.
Seriously, that was a great, nice little touch to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that basically confirms that like clearly she's in a rough place financially. So it's clearly just coming from a place of jealousy. It's coming from a place of, you know, you have things that I want and I don't have them.
Yeah.
It just seems like a very childish mentality.
Yeah.
And I do hope that I do hope that there's a point where, you know, her husband and his sister can talk it out and like come to an understanding and like they can all get along. But right now I think it is the best decision that they just do not talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that she apologizes to her too. Like that was insane.
Yeah. And I wish the sister-in-law can get some help. It's hard to be understanding and it's hard to like help or have any good sense when you're struggling financially and probably other areas. It sounds like she's had some difficult relationships and, you know, she's a single mother. You know, there are basic needs not being met for this sister-in-law. And I truly hope that like they are able to help her with that and so she can be more understanding in the future. I don't know. I mean, the relationship between siblings is tough. I mean, I know I have an older brother. Echoes, you mentioned that you have a sibling. I know Strikers have siblings, so we've all been there. And I don't know. I just hope that they can figure it out and the sister-in-law apologizes because to feel like you don't deserve this is really, really harsh.
Yeah.
I think especially when I think when you get married and you marry into another family and like there's already like a sibling relationship, it's always, I think it's always very tough for the person coming into that to like figure out what's going on and like figure out the dynamic. Like my wife has 3 brothers and they're all very different, but I get along with all of them in a different way.
It's good.
But it's just figuring out that dynamic and figuring out, okay, like how is this person and like what do I need to avoid and like what do I need to be concerned about and like. But I also think, granted, I don't know how the sister-in-law's relationship is with her, but I wonder if, you know, when hopefully, you know, the husband has a conversation, this gets worked out, everybody gets along. I wonder if these two sit down and say, hey, like maybe let's restart and like let's maybe actually, you know, get along because it's
just mind your own business.
Or that too. You can also just tell her to kick rocks and call it a day. But I mean, I'm trying to err on the positive side on it. But hey, listen, sometimes sometimes it really is not worth it.
Just
Sometimes
speaking from experience.
No,
with
Yeah.
I completely
my
agree.
sister-in-law.
I completely agree. Sometimes it's not worth trying to mend like a relationship or a friendship like that. So I get that side of it. 100%.
Yeah. But then change is also hard. And when you have an understanding of, they were going to be there for each other in, a brotherly, sisterly way.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, maybe, but maybe it was quick. But now, he's married and the situation is different and
The
things
dynamic
change.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that dynamic when like your best friend that you talk to all the time gets into a relationship with someone and all of a sudden they don't talk to you as much and you sit there and you sit there and you're like, what about me? I
Yeah.
am still here.
It's like whenever someone snatches up Stryker and then she doesn't spend every night with me and then I have to go hang out with my husband.
What?
Kidding.
Gosh forbid you spend time with your husband.
He spends time with us too.
Yeah, he's there too.
Man, gosh. All right.
He's like, she's not kidding.
That's crazy.
Man.
Listen.
Well, we have gotten to the final story of the night.
I'm so excited.
I am going to give y'all a warning before this final story. This is on a 10 intensity level. This is not something you should ever do. I don't care who you are. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
I hope I didn't do this.
Story number 5 reads, my sister, 32 female, called CPS on my husband and I. Now that the case has been closed, I have no idea how to confront her.
Beat her.
Boy.
Beat her. Flip it ass. That's how you come.
All right.
My God. What the?
Here we go.
Okay.
My sister
God.
and I have always been close. Every year, she spends Christmas Eve sleeping over with her fiance, 31 male, and helps us get toys from Santa and Santa built and set them up for Christmas morning. We call ourselves Santa's helpers and have a lot of fun with it. This year, she spent the night and saw my husband and father disciplining our son, 13 male. Our son is now a teenager and likes to ignore us when we ask him to do something, pretending he doesn't know how to do something incredibly simple, slams doors, general teenage sassy behavior. His teachers at school notice it as well. So it's something we're working on at home. Our discipline style is somewhere between tough love and talk it out. Every time a conflict at home arises, my son does the argue, flip out, then run upstairs and slam the door thing. My husband will wait 10 minutes and then go upstairs and have a heartfelt meeting dialogue with him. This happened on Christmas Eve. He told his 3-year-old sister Santa wasn't real, and we both immediately told him that wasn't okay. And he started arguing with us. It led to the typical back and forth. The difference was my sister and her fiance were present. Neither of them said anything and went about our usual Christmas Eve routine. Everything seemed fine. Our son apologized and we went to bed. Upon his return to school after break, a CPS worker showed up and pulled him out of class to interview him about how his parents treat him. He told them he loved his parents and that things at home were fine. He expressed that when we discipline him, we sometimes ground him and will take away his electronics for a week, and sometimes he will argue with us. But he knows that when we discipline him, that we do it because we love him and want him to grow and learn. Now, a little detail about the month of December and its difficulties. I have a seizure disorder. I have not had a seizure in 10 years. And in the month of December, out of nowhere, I had 3 back to back to back. I was sitting in my neurologist's office preparing for an EEG sleep study when I get a call that goes to voicemail from that same CPS worker saying the next day she would be coming to our house to interview us and our 3-year-old. I immediately shared the number and voicemail to my husband and told him to call her back immediately because I couldn't. So the very next day, after an exhausting round of seizure tests, she came over. When she arrived the next day, we get a better picture of the accusations she made against us. Buckle up. She claimed my husband was an alcoholic with anger issues. She also claimed that we were starving our 3 children and had no food in the house. To answer the first accusation, it was Christmas Eve. All of our family was there, drinking eggnog or wine. No one in the house got sloshed except my sister, who drank an entire 18-pack of beer to herself that night. We do not have a drinking problem. It was a holiday with family and a delicious meal I spent all day preparing. My husband does not have anger problems whatsoever. We were upset at what our son said to his sister, but not in any way that would justify saying anyone in this house has anger issues. My dad and my husband pulled our son aside to talk to him about it. I really don't understand this one. To answer accusation number 2, as the CPS worker toured our house, we showed her our pantry, fridge, and freezer. She literally laughed out loud and said, "There's enough food here to feed everyone in this house for 3 months. We are absolutely not starving our kids at all." And that was obvious right away. When the CPS worker was done packing up to leave, she stated, "I'm grateful to be handling a case in a functional home with happy, healthy kids. Usually it's quite the opposite." Today, she called us back and is closing the case by at the end of today. She does not believe any further action is needed, and our risk score is low. Upon talking to my parents and my brother, all agreed this was for sure my sister based on talking with her themselves, though she has not outright admitted it. All agree this was the last thing my family needed while dealing with my health issues and restructuring our lives and schedules around the reality that I can't drive for 6 months, so I can't work. My husband and I see this as a major betrayal. I'm still reeling from the reality that a family member I've always been so close with and trusted would make such an impulsive, dishonest, and quite frankly, cruel decision like this. I have spent weeks trying to figure out how to confront her, as she has not fully admitted to doing this, but has heavily implied it to everyone who's spoken to her. She went from being overly communicative the day of this interview, demanding I call her and tell her how it went, and in general blowing up my phone, to being silent and not speaking to me for weeks after I told her it went fine. I believe she knows I assume she did this. I want to have a conversation with her, but I do not know how to do it. I feel betrayed by my sister and incredibly hurt. I do not want to react emotionally, but I do want her to know that this was wrong.
What
My God.
the heck?
Oh my God.
So sister does not have kids, doesn't have, no.
Sister's got a lot of issues. A lot of issues. What the heck?
When you here's obviously this is wrong on every level, but
Yeah.
when you put somebody's kids in danger, because that's essentially what this is doing. You're putting the kids in danger of, if CPS says for some reason it doesn't seem like you guys are fit to, parent these children, they get put in a foster home, all because you felt a certain way. Like, that to me is probably one of the worst things you could ever do to someone, hands down.
Absolutely. And to have no conversation with, like, maybe if I suspected something was up, like my brother and sister-in-law have one kid, and maybe if I see something that, like, maybe I don't do when I parent, or something's suspicious, or I don't know, something, I would just have a conversation with them and be like, "Hey, what's going on? I noticed this the other day." Just fill me in and see how I can support, or I don't know, something. You don't call CPS and be and making crazy accusation, like no food in the house, they're starving their kids.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Open the dialogue with them first and to see what's up. If she really thought that stuff was going on. Yeah, that's kind of wow.
Especially in your own family. Like, it would be one thing if it was like, it was someone you just didn't know and you saw like one instance. Even then, that it's still not right to do. But this is someone you've known for a while. This is someone who's family to you, and you like I think the sister knows for a fact that these things are not true, but for some reason she felt that this in this situation was the thing to do.
She must have been really sloshed. Like, she was the one that drank all that alcohol, so she must have been seeing stuff weird. That could have really messed up the kids, messed up their chances of seeing their kids, taking their kids, even the sister from seeing the kids.
I mean, I'm just going to read the top comment here before I even get into the update. The top comment here says, "I don't know how or if I would confront her. Where are your parents in this? Why aren't they giving her hell? But for sure, she would never be welcomed into my home again, and her relationship with my children would be completely over. And I mean completely. No calls, no texts, no visits, no interactions, no visiting with her at her parents, nothing. You don't threaten my family and then have a relationship with them. I would be done. Personally, I think you should be done because you need to know that you can never, ever trust her again."
Yeah, absolutely.
You
I don't
just
know
can't
how I
mess with
can
somebody's
look.
kids like that. You can't.
I couldn't even look somebody in the face after that.
God knows she could be trying to teach the kids stuff or whatever. Like, tell them, this is how you're being treated or whatever. Brainwash them. I don't know. That's fucked up though. Her own sister.
So I would like to read y'all the update, and I'm gonna give another warning because I actually read through this update before we started. Y'all are gonna probably be very angry when you hear this. So here we go. So she did end up reaching out to me and telling me how much she loved me. I responded saying that I had a question to ask and I needed her to be honest with me. She called me immediately. She opened with saying, I think you already know the answer. So if you're going to ask this question, yes, it was me. I followed up with, do you realize what could have happened to my kids, to me and my husband? Do you realize how bad the outcome of this could have been? She began to rant and yell. She said me and my husband don't deserve to be parents, that I obviously don't care about my kids because I haven't even brought them up, which I literally opened with, do you realize what could have happened to my kids? Literally my first question. I think she was drunk again during this call. She just kept yelling and ranting, and I couldn't get a word in. I kept asking if I could speak, and she would not stop going off. The only words out of my mouth she heard were, you realize we are going to be taking a very long break from you, right? And her response was, I'm sure you will, and I don't care. Then resumed her ranting. So I calmly told her if she was not going to speak to me, I was going to hang up. At this point, her ranting was incoherent. Something about how she cares more about my kids than anyone. Obviously not if you think what you did was okay and think that showing my kids you care about them means also putting them at risk and ensuring that they're also losing a family member as a result of their actions. And I'm sure, I guess that's caring. I once again calmly stated that I was going to hang up if she wouldn't let me speak. Unfortunately, that's where this phone call ended. I hung up and blocked her immediately and then called her father. I told him the way she was behaving on the phone sounded like she was incredibly unstable and either drunk, having a manic episode, or both, and that he should call her just to try to calm her down and get through to her. It sounded like he was going to immediately, though I don't know. I am devastated and still reeling from this. I knew it was her, but I really wanted the slim chance it wasn't to be true. Even if I knew it was impossible that it wasn't. Hearing her say it sent chills down my spine. She said it so indignantly, like she was proud of her actions, and then devolved into unhinged ranting. Last night, I officially lost my sister. I will be going no contact from here on out, but my heart is broken. My dad clearly did not want to believe it was her either, because I heard his tone changing instantly when I said she admitted it. My dad sounded like he was on the verge of tears, and quite frankly, I don't blame him. She just caused a massive rift in our family. I didn't even get to bring up the accusations. I really would have loved to ask her where the hell she came up with the idea that we were starving our kids and had no food in the house. She has never left our house hungry, and our kids have never gone hungry. I would have loved an answer to that, but never got a word in once she was going off. I would also love to ask her about the drunken anger issues thing, because it was clear and on display on the phone last night. She is the one drunk and angry, not my husband. Of course, I would love to have made that keen observation, but again, I never got to speak once she was going. This is my final update. I have no idea how I feel today besides heartbroken and numb. I want to thank everyone who commented with words of support and advice. It meant a lot to me and really helped me inform how I was going to handle the situation moving forward. I wish I had been wrong, but I wasn't. I'm worried because of her reaction on the phone last night. She might retaliate. I have no idea if she will. I hope speaking to my dad maybe helped. I'm a little on edge today and sad, but just hoping to move forward from this in peace. That just honestly makes my blood boil a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just me being a dad, thinking like just someone that just has the gall to think that something like this is just okay. And then when you're confronted about it, to say that you don't. We're going back to the last story where the sister-in-law said that, said to her sister-in-law, you don't deserve this house. I think saying you don't deserve to be parents is even worse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
So horrible. Yeah.
How dare you to tell someone they don't deserve to be parents? Again, who are you to dictate what someone deserves and doesn't deserve, or who someone deserves and doesn't deserve? Like, I just, wow.
Yeah. I, in general, have problems with people that think they are the final judgment on things, because they aren't. You don't mess with my kids.
No.
You don't mess with us, but to be like, you don't deserve to be parents, it makes my blood boil, but also I'm really, really sad for the sister. I hope that she is able to get help.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like she's got a lot of things going on, a lot of issues.
maybe she wants kids and she can't have kids, and she sees her sister having kids and she's like upset about it, or
It's just not the way that you go about it.
She's clearly an alcoholic, so she's got some issue there. And my God,
it's such a tough place to be, because like from a parent's perspective, when you know that you're, and I want to preface this by saying that like nobody's perfect at parenting, right? Like there are always mistakes being made, lines being crossed, whatever it is. But to hear someone tell you or say about you that you're starving your kids and that your husband is an angry drunk and has anger issues, if that were true, if both of those things were true, and the sister had involved CPS in this, the kids are going to a foster home, the husband's getting arrested, and that's the end of it. And OP is also probably getting arrested for child neglect or whatever they would classify that as. That is what the sister put, like, that's the situation the sister put them in. Obviously, that was never going to like none of those things were ever going to happen, because none of that was true. But just even the thought to be put in that situation, because you know that's not true. Mm-hmm. But the fact that there is even just a slim chance that whoever CPS sends, they may not be the nicest person. They might be having a bad day, and they may just say, they may not even do anything. They may just say, you know what, we're not even going to investigate. We're just going to believe the sister and we're going to move forward. And, you know what I mean? So like, who knows what could have happened, what the alternative could have been in that situation. But just to be put through that, I just could never wish that upon anybody. I could never like want to see anybody go through something like that. Mm-hmm. And again, especially like just being a dad, like I would never want to see anything happen to my kids. And like, to think that there's people out there that could pull something like this, it just breaks my heart. And like yes, it makes my blood boil. And yes, like those kind of people really, like I just despise those kind of people. At the same time, like I do also feel for them and do hope that like those kind of people do get help, because clearly they're hurting, and clearly like they're just projecting what they feel on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a lot of ways out there that you can project what you're going through without having to put somebody's family in danger like that. Plain and simple.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I have struggled myself with infertility and health issues, and my sister-in-law got pregnant when I was going through the most of those struggles, and I recognized that I was being jealous, that I'm not a perfect person. I have feelings, I have emotions, I have stuff that I don't like about myself, but I signed myself up for therapy to talk through those issues and to try to understand why I was feeling jealousy, and I got better. And the minute my niece was born, I would do anything for her and their family, and to even think about putting them at risk for any of that for a safe, loving, healthy family is just wild. Yeah, that sister's got problems.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those stories that we were just talking about earlier, where it's just like you can never think that there are people like this that exist, and then you read a story like that and you're like, wow. Like, some people can stoop to really low levels, and I don't even really know like if there's a placeholder for how low like something like that is.
That is pretty fucking low. That is really fucking low.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yikes.
I ended y'all on a doozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that to us moms.
Yes, yes.
Wowie wow.
All right. Well, this is the point of the episode where I want y'all to give some final thoughts, whether it's on the story we just read, whether it's on any of the stories that we read, whether it's just maybe advice you want to give to people. I kind of want to just open the floor and let y'all speak.
Mind your businesses, people.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, stay in your lane. Live your life.
Yeah, get therapy. Go touch grass. Come on.
If you need drama that involves other people, then there's clearly something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Have you tried doing literally anything else? Like Bridgerton. Go watch Bridgerton. Like,
Right? There's
I
enough
don't
drama
know.
in there.
Something.
It's
my
it's
gosh.
crazy to me. Like I was saying it earlier, it's crazy to me. I go down the the rabbit hole of Reddit because every time I put together one of these episodes, like I'm always going like across so many threads of Reddit, and it's just so crazy some of the things I stumble upon, and I just sit there and I'm just like I have to like stare for a minute, and I'm just like, am I reading this right? Like,
Yeah.
Is this really
I don't
happening?
blame you.
I'm like, is this real life or is this just fantasy?
Oh
But
my gosh.
yeah,
Are you
Reddit's-
caught in a landslide?
I was waiting for somebody to do it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, no, Reddit is such an interesting place to be. And I mean, I'm just going to say this. I don't recommend, if you want to keep your sanity, that you go down the Reddit rabbit hole. Now, I'm not saying that everything on Reddit is bad. There are some pretty awesome stuff that you can read on Reddit. But when you start going down the rabbit hole of these threads that I search in to find these stories, I feel like I need to take a 3-hour walk.
You got to detox.
And yeah, I'm gonna take a 3-hour walk and zen myself.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of episode 3 of the Red Flag Review. Hoofy712, once again, thank y'all so much for being on the podcast. Thank y'all for your inputs, and thank y'all for just taking time out of your day to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Heck yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. This was so
It
much
was-
fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm glad you dig through the Reddit stories and not me.
I really enjoy this format. I really enjoy just bringing people in and just having these discussions, because I think some good life lessons can come out of these, but also getting to read some of these and thinking, okay, I would never want this to happen to me in real life. So I'm glad I'm just reading about it and not actually living it.
Yeah.
It makes your
Yeah.
problems look like so much more.
Yeah,
less.
it makes what you're going through minuscule compared to what some of these people are going through.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, life is pretty good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to have both of their links in the description of the video, so please make sure y'all go check out these lovely women and make sure to follow them on all socials, tune into their streams. But until the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next episode.